Is my connection
Yeah,
okay?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay,
Thanks for
cool.
joining me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm linked up to my like hotspot, and I have my my other like regular service on, so I just want to make sure it's all good.
It's sounding pretty good so far. So, thanks for
Okay.
joining me on another Nomad interview.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you've been
why don't
killing
you
it.
just why don't you just introduce us to yourself and what car you're living in or your alternative lifestyle?
Okay. So my name is Regina. I am a yoga teacher, music healer, all those beautiful things, alternative healing, as well as alternative lifestyler. So
Mhm.
the car I am living in is a 2020 CRV hybrid Honda, and yeah, so I really want to talk about that 2020 because it is a car I still am paying off, and yeah,
Is it
I
like
know it's
a
a
SUV or is it more like
yes,
a sedan?
it's a SUV. Yeah.
So more space.
Right. Yeah. I initially got the car because I love going camping, going up in the mountains, and that 4-wheel drive. That was perfect.
And you're out in California, right?
Yeah, I'm based in Southern California. Yeah, like a little bit outside of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, to start this interview off, if you could just more in depth describe your alternative lifestyle. So, I know you said you're in California, you're in like
Yeah.
an SUV.
Hmm.
Um, let us know a little bit more information about what your alternative lifestyle is. Do you work from home? Do you go into the office? Like,
Mm.
what does a
Yeah.
day in your life look like?
Okay. So, pretty much get on my phone usually, and depending on the time I definitely get a meditation in there, but it's like it
Hmm.
depends on the time, depending on how I'm feeling. Work wise, I go to a co-working space. I'm actually
Hmm.
and I actually work there too, so I'm the yoga teacher on site, but I
Hmm.
also do host virtual yoga, and sometimes I have one-on-one sessions, so I use that space to record or to host like my Zoom yoga sessions, and also to have my virtual sessions, one-on-one sessions as well.
So you
Um
do in person sessions, like video sessions, I'm guessing, or
yes, yes. That's why this having this co-working space is so nice. It meets all my needs. The owner of it, me and her are really cool, and is been a blessing with this lifestyle. Yeah.
okay, awesome. Was this something that you were doing before and it made you kind of
Mm.
think like, okay, I want to live alternatively, or was it like something where you were living alternatively already and you were like, okay, now I have this opportunity?
Yeah. So I was already planning. So I've been planning to do this lifestyle for like a year. So before I moved out of my apartment, she had reached out to me, and I didn't really know what she wanted. I thought she was like, "Oh, you pay to have a space, right, at our co-working event." I didn't know she wanted to
Mhm.
hire me as a staff. So I don't know, it was like God just saying like, "Okay, like we're trying to put the pieces together," but it did take me a while to move out, and to
Mhm.
embrace everything, because actually the same lady, she was just like, "Oh my God, there's a housing crisis. Are you sure you want to do that?" So I got a roommate, and everything happens for a reason. I needed to
Mhm.
clean out my space. I actually got with an organizer who I met like at a camping trip. So to help me like to know what I need to donate, save, get rid of,
Mhm.
things like that. So it was a whole process, and it was a really mental shift more than anything. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that, describing your alternative more like transitioning into this new job that you have has kind of
Mm.
bit to different ways of living, and now that you're doing it, I mean, do you have any reasons to go back? Have you thought about getting like an apartment or a home or anything like that?
No, God, no. I think I remember being in my apartment sometimes feeling like it was a prison. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm in these four concrete walls, and
Mm.
that's it." And yeah, I've actually am happier being in the car. Like I remember one time I was really sad, in the car, and I was like, I'm just gonna find some
Mhm.
place to sleep tonight. And it was like the thrill of it. Like, I don't know, it made me like way more happier.
It's like
I could always
exciting.
Yes, it really is. It really is. There's upsides and downsides to that, but that at that moment that surprised me. I was like, "Oh my god, this excites me. Like, this is helping me not feel, um
Mhm.
down in the dumps or whatever." And even like today is raining, if I was in my apartment, I'll just be in there but I could be like I'm looking at the ocean right now. Like, I could always see a
Okay.
tree. So that's something that I really love.
Whenever you get down a little bit, you're reminded. You're like, okay, this is kind of worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Just being around nature. I think nature has just really been a healing space for me, and being confined in those four walls. And I don't know,
Mhm.
like the apartment walls were super thin, so you could just I don't know, it just really felt like a prison. When I first moved in the apartment, it was like I felt like I was in my college dorms again. I was like, okay, but it's just like a few
Yeah.
years fast forward. Yeah.
In that, I had a hotel room, or
Yeah.
excuse me, I had a motel room. But I was
Okay.
hearing all type
Yeah.
of domestic issues that I
Oh
actually like
no.
didn't realize, like, oh, I kind of miss living in my car because I was like, I didn't have to deal with that. So I can
Mm.
completely
Yes,
understand to
indeed.
a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, you never know what you're gonna get when it comes to living in those type of arrangements. But overall, I would like to say that, like, is there something that you prepared yourself to live this lifestyle, that
Yeah.
helped you deal with those type of situations?
Like situations where like I'm not around people or
Yeah, like if you have to be on your own, if you're just by yourself in your car or whatever, are there certain preparations that you made that you think would help you with that? Whereas a regular person just leaving a traditional lifestyle would be like, I can't deal with this?
Definitely. Well, I think I wish I could have prepared more in terms of like safety. I do have some safety, but if
Mm-hmm.
my parents or if my dad knew, he's in Texas, they have the open carry. I think he would want me to be with
He's got
that.
your back.
Yeah, he would want me, right? But that's a whole nother thing telling my parents, like, I don't want them to worry about me every single night. So my parents actually
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Close friends and things like that, they know. But so in preparing for this, I have a generator
Mm-hmm.
that I got, and that's pretty much it. And I have a stove, like a burner that I have like
Mm-hmm.
takes like butane so I could cook. Girl, I be frying. I made salmon in here one night.
How
But
often are you cooking in there?
yeah, I'm usually cooking. So recently it's been like ramen and maybe like fry an egg with it.
Boiling
But
water, right?
huh?
I said boiling water mainly.
Yeah, boiling water, but actually I bought because I don't really like to use the butane if I don't have to. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually got a collapsible a kettle. So
Mm-hmm.
and it uses less watts than the one I had previously. But
Okay.
I cook usually, and it's kind of hard when it's raining because you have to have the windows open so you don't die.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only downside. So when it's raining, I'll chance it. I mean, not chance sometimes, but I'll like have the windows cracking. The car gets wet. But other than that, it's like salad and
You
things
gotta
like
do
that
what
I
you
could
gotta
eat.
do.
Yeah, definitely,
I know,
definitely.
I've had a few people ask me recently, like, oh, show us some cooking in the car videos. And I'm like, depending on the time of year, it's,
Mm,
more fun than others. Like when the summer hits and it's warm out and we want to camp
yeah,
and all that, like, it'll probably be more fun. But just in the winter, I'm like dealing with condensation and things like that. Those are things
yes,
that people who don't live in a car don't really think about. I'm like, I'm not really cooking that often in here unless
right.
I'm, opening the door and, putting out a chair and camping. And that's more like springtime, summertime vibes,
Yes,
I would
indeed. Yeah,
say.
yeah.
But, it's definitely interesting to hear that your preparations, at least from what I'm hearing, were somewhat minimal. And I can agree myself. A lot of people feel like, oh, if you're going to move into the car, or if you're going to do some type of alternative lifestyle, that you have to make a drastic change. But I
Mm,
think more than anything, you kind of just have to be mentally prepared for it. Let me
Yes.
know if I'm wrong about that.
No, I 100% feel you. It is a mental shift in the mind that you have to
Mhm.
do, because like you always say, is this is not traditional. Like what we've always been taught is I
Mhm.
don't know. It almost feels going to the extreme. I mean, once you live it, you're like, oh, okay, it's cool. But preparing for it is yeah, is definitely a mindset shift completely.
All
Yeah.
right. So, with that being said, can you give us one pro and one con since you've started this lifestyle? What's one positive thing that you can take away from it, and one thing that you kind of want to let people know about it if they weren't aware?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think the thing that I like the most is I could sleep anywhere, like immediately. Like I don't have to like go like travel all the way back home, like wherever I am. I love that.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so that would definitely be a pro for me. And I would say like a con,
Mhm.
the popo. That that's a con. Living this lifestyle had made me realize that, man, there's so many places that people could be and park and live, and they just don't freaking allow it. Like
Mhm.
it just blows my mind. Is really hard. I think the other day I got emotional because I was like, I'm this little car just trying to live. It's not, you know, like, and it's so hard.
You're
Like,
like,
why
why are they
can't
coming for me?
yeah, like why can't I find? Because I think I was parked at like this apartment complex, but then I got this feeling. I was like, dang, I was like, I think this are people like assigned spots. So I was like, man, I had to
Mhm.
move. I don't know. So it was just one of those nights, we all have them, and
A
I
little
was just like,
stressful.
yeah, I was like, I'm trying, like I'm lowering my carbon footprint. Just like I'm not, I'm minimizing. Why is this so difficult? I'm not in this big extravagant mansion. I don't know. So it was one of those things, and but yeah, I think one time I got somebody may have called the cops on me because living in your car does look like suspicious activity, air quotes. And
Trust me, I know, girl. I'm in my car right now, looking left to right, like
oh my
hopefully
God.
nobody say nothing. Am I talking too
Right.
loud? Like,
Oh
okay.
my God. Yeah. But it just shouldn't be like that. So even though like I chose this lifestyle, I feel like it is like um like I'm fighting a cause really for people
Mhm.
who didn't get to choose to live this life. We're not doing anything wrong. We're just living, and it should be allowed
Mhm.
to survive and yeah, and exist.